Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the AUCL live stream. There's no one watching, but that's okay. All right, we're going to resume the games that we were looking at earlier. We had some technical issues, so restart the stream. But it should be much smoother now. So we're going to start looking at the UQ and UNSW match. So we're on board 1 now. And this is the game between Sterling Bayaka and Leon Lee on board 1.
Okay.
Let me have a quick look.
All right. White has the bishop pair.
White does have the bishop pair, but you may notice they can give it up.
And the black e-pawn's getting a lot of space as well.
I suppose so. So this black pawn is a little bit strong, but it's also quite a significant weakness. It's obviously isolated in the center of the board, very far pushed out.
I would say the further the pawn goes, the less weak it is.
What?
Well, compared to being on e5, right? More pieces can attack it when it's on e5.
That's true.
It's harder to attack on e4 because the knight on f6 does a good job, bishop on d5 does a good job. But white could go for bishop takes f6 straight away.
Yeah, bishop takes f6.
Queen takes is a blunder because
Queen takes would hang this.
Oh no, queen takes d5 is direct take.
Oh right, capture. Sorry,
Yeah, so the pawn will have to take
because bishop would block. So queen takes,
and then
queen
h5.
Bishop. Yeah, let's play this out here. Queen h5 check. This looks a little bit
bishop
dangerous.
F7.
Bishop f7 is practically forced because of this. Yeah. So bishop f7.
And no one's defending the e4 pawn.
Now we just attack it again, right? So we don't really want to go here because we get bishop g6. So probably here. And then
I think the pawn is lost.
So the pawn would be lost here.
5 is the way to go.
F5 is the way to go, but that also gives up a pawn. It just gives up a different pawn. So
yeah, I'd
there's
say
not such a big difference here.
White has great chances to win this game. Being a pawn up and the king safety might be an issue.
Yeah, this looks like a clean pawn and an unsafe king. But it is giving up the bishop there, which is maybe a little bit difficult to find. I think Sterling should probably have no problem with it. Let's go. Yeah.
Always look at captures and checks.
Always look at captures. True. After this capture, oh yeah, that's not. Hang on. Takes. What's going on?
I just assume that the king is too unsafe to be there.
I would assume so. That's probably what Sterling is currently calculating. If we have a quick look at that. Yeah, it looks as if...
Oh, knight d3 is interesting.
Knight d3 is the move here, apparently.
Okay, so black cannot castle, because the queen controls castling on both sides.
Yeah, so it uncovers this attack. So knight d3, queen comes back,
and
knight c5.
Okay, this is hard to find.
This is extremely difficult to find.
What about rook d8, though? Does that hang e4?
Rook d8 does hang e4.
Yeah.
I mean, anything hangs e4. E4 is just hanging.
Yeah, I'd say white has tremendous compensation with the bishop.
White has so much compensation here because the king, I mean, you can castle kingside, but you're not even safe there. You're winning a pawn here at least, and then you'll win these pawns eventually.
Yeah.
It looks like white should win this if they can calculate that.
It's not a static advantage in that position.
So
that might
difficult.
Be difficult for white to play. This position, white has a few significant advantages, which are just static.
Yeah, having the bishop pair is... Yeah, it's a static advantage.
You'll always have the bishop pair unless you decide to trade them or you're forced to trade them.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see whether he goes for takes. And if he does go for takes, whether Leon takes the queen. Because taking with queen, even though it's worse, is complicated, possibly.
It looks like rook c1 is an alternative. And then follow up with the same idea without the rook hanging on a1. Anyway, we'll go to a different game now.
Let's head to board 2, where we have Cameron McGowan against Max Windsor. Cameron's a little bit better here.
Okay.
It's interesting because earlier we were talking about the bishop pair being quite strong, but here it seems like white has... They do have this static advantage of the bishop pair, but this bishop's not really helping.
It's a tall pawn.
That's a tall pawn on d3. It's not really doing anything there. This bishop... It's okay. I mean... The main thing with this position is because the position is so closed and white has so many other static weaknesses that they need to defend. Bishop pair can't do a lot here.
Yeah, white needs to open up the position somehow to use their bishop pair advantage.
Yeah, but how do we open up the position? So,
Okay,
like,
f4 is the only plan I see.
I guess f4. I mean, f4 is always the only plan you see, but
Oh, that's not me.
okay. Yeah. So
Yeah, you got to blow open the position when you have the bishop pair. Otherwise, the bishops will be stuck in traffic.
yeah, potentially.
Go to, let me check. All right.
Sorry, can you post the stream link into the chess chat? Didn't
Yeah.
work for me.
Can I do that?
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, W commentary. Thank you for the comment, Jesse. Appreciate it. Yeah, we've got a great commentator duo here. We've got Aiden, the swindle god, and me who can't play blitz. So it's good. Let's move to board 3, where we have.
Should I correct the link in the Chess broadcast?
That should be correct. Actually, it just didn't go through for me.
Okay.
But yeah, okay, it's working, and people are joining, so it must be working.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, it doesn't show up on my screen. But
All right, should we go back to Sam's game since we?
Let's go to Sam's game. Sam's game is very interesting. We're just focusing on UNSW versus UQ right now. But right after this, we're going to go on to Monash versus UCIT, which is probably the closest matchup tonight. So Sam, for those of you who don't remember, played 1d3, which is an opening, I suppose. Looks like a broadcasting error, but he actually played it.
I think it's a mouse slip.
Maybe his hand slipped, but yeah, no, he played d3. b6 was played, and already there are only 4 games in the database on move 1.
It's not very popular.
I mean, d3 is already a bit of a stretch, and then b6, like...
Okay, well, it's like passing the baton to black and saying, you go first.
Yeah, and then black's saying, no, you go first, and then
So-
Sam plays e4.
E4, okay. Well, this looks very solid.
I guess that's what you call this when you have
Yeah, okay.
d3,
Well,
d4. and
F4 looks like a stretch, but
yeah, f4 is a little bit strange.
black hasn't put any pawns in the center, so it looks like you can just grab space.
Yeah, you'd want to grab space with d4, but
So you
I guess bishop
imagine,
d7.
like in the King's
actually.
Indian, you grab space when your opponent does not control the center with pawns.
Yeah, so this Cheyenne Eftekhar, hyper-modern player, against another hyper-modern player,
I feel like he was
Samasaka.
just confused.
I feel
with
like both
D3.
players are a little confused. But
D3, B6 is interesting.
yeah, actually, Sam played this very quickly. It must be in his prep.
Yeah, well, would he have expected B6? I'm struggling.
I don't think any
I
player
played a game
expected
with you
this.
with B6, C4, B6.
No, that was knight f3, b6.
Oh no, 3 B6.
And I was confused. I thought for 5 minutes.
Yeah. Admittedly, it wasn't the best move.
It's a bad move. Anyway, going through a few moves. This isn't the live position. We're quite a bit ahead of this. Cheyenne has a very good plan here. He actually just plays h5. He thinks for 7 minutes, plays h4. Then he thinks for no seconds and plays h3,
This
which
is a good
is
bullet strategy. I like it.
yeah. This is really a bullet
But this
strategy,
is a classical game.
but it is actually a good plan potentially because it takes a little space away from White's kingside.
Yeah.
I mean, White's kingside safety is kind of shattered here.
Yeah, actually, White can't really afford to open the position otherwise. His
Yeah.
king is a bit unsafe.
That makes things a bit difficult.
Yeah, but one thing I noticed as you play the game through,
Yeah, he plays
Um,
knight h6.
there's a
knight
big
g5.
hole on D6.
There is.
So if a knight could get to D6, the game would essentially be over. I'd say.
That is assuming the bishop comes off, but the
No,
bishop,
bishop
does
does
come
come
off
off with bishop
because
g5.
Cheyenne takes here.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a mistake.
I think it's a mistake. Firstly, it gives up the bishop pair, which in a position like this, like with the
Yeah.
pawns not, like the pawns are kind of locked, but you still have
Also
c4 and stuff.
Forces the knight back to G8.
It also forced the knight back to
I
g8.
can't find a good square for it.
Yeah, I mean, the best square is this, but Sam immediately shuts it down. You can't play 97. 97 because of
Yeah, it's very awkward.
queen e7.
Yeah, if you go queen d7 and try to go knight e7 later, then f7 is still under attack.
Yeah, defending this is very difficult. We were thinking something like this might be forced.
I
Queen
think
f8.
It looks very sad, but
Yeah, but-
maybe a waste of time.
Cheyenne plays queen e7, so maybe he sees that. I don't know why.
Well, in a closed position, the development shouldn't matter too much.
It still does. It's still quite
Um,
concerning.
yeah, I'd say Black's main problems are the piece harmony I'd say the bishop on b7 is good, but
Yeah.
how do you activate? How do you play d4?
Yeah, you can never play d4 with this battery lining up here.
Yeah, it's kind of
Um,
annoying. I definitely take white here. With
I
the
would
bishop
definitely
pair,
prefer white.
bishop pair, the open f file, the better development.
Yeah. That said, we do have some potential advantages for black here. I mean, there are some static advantages. There's doubled pawns. There's a weak, a far advanced pawn in h3. There's probably even more static advantages for white, though, with this pawn
Yeah,
being so weak.
it's very common.
So it doesn't look so good. Anyway, I have just received the information that a game finished. So let's head over to
Which
that
one
game.
was that?
This was board 4 of Uni Mel versus Uni Adelaide. So this is the game between Finn Rayner and Ray Chang Wang.
Okay.
And it's 15 minutes delayed. So something happens in the next 15 minutes. Sorry? What is D3? Is that what I taught Sam?
GM.
Who are you?
I want the
What is 1D3? 1D3 is
special weapon for
It's a-
USW.
it's especially Sam Osaka opening. I didn't teach him this. He taught me it.
Yeah, I
Thank
think-
God it wasn't UQ who lost first. Yeah, you guys aren't far behind though. We'll get to that soon.
There was a game, right, where there was a blunder in move 5.
Yeah, no, yeah. Sorry, UQ.
Okay, we will look at that later.
We'll look at that
So
later.
focusing on the.
So board 8, Finn Rayner against Ray Chang Wang
All right, this
has
position.
already finished. It doesn't look too strange. It looks fine.
What
what happens?
Bishop pair, though.
White has the bishop pair.
That's the first observation ever. all the time.
I mean, yeah, that's your first observation. I mean,
Yeah.
you just want to lose the bishop
I actually
pair
don't
anyway.
like the bishop pair.
I know you like the knight pair. I
The
know.
knight pair is better.
Okay.
Okay, maybe not knight pair. I think bishop and knight versus bishop, two bishops is good.
Yeah.
Just because the knight is tricky. The knight is tricky.
I suppose so. And I think black's knights are tricky pieces here. I mean, this looks strong.
Well, I think if white can kick the knight out.
I mean, I suppose f3 could happen. And UQ just lost. So for the one person in chat who said, "Thank God UQ isn't losing," fuck you. Sorry. I'm sorry. You played well. Okay. I need to bully the chat members.
It was an unfortunate accident.
It was an unfortunate game. Yeah, we saw that.
It's being rude, you know.
I'm sorry.
Oh, white is fighting hard.
I love our players.
White is fighting hard in this position.
Yeah. No, I make fun of all
Should
the
we go
teams
back
equally.
to the start, or have we
Yeah,
covered it?
so we'll quickly look over this again. They are analyzing now, but
Yeah.
we'll give a few brief comments because we looked at this game briefly at the start.
No point of commenting. It's a blunder pistol.
Yeah, so the big mistake in this game was D3 here. You have to take this first and then play D3. And this position's fine for white. This is actually okay.
Yeah, I'd say with the shadow pawn structure for black and the bad bishop pair in this position, because the bishops are blocked, right?
UQ posted this is not rigged.
Yeah, the pawn structure and the bishop pair don't. get
Yeah,
together, right?
exactly. Yeah, so the pawn structure is all blocked.
So
The
white is
bishop
just
pair.
nice.
So
White's
white's
just-
position's not bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say white can go for attack in the future, maybe with the pawns.
Yeah, I actually really like this position.
Together.
For-
Yeah, like
For
I like
white.
white. I'd say even the win rate. is
The
telling.
win rate is a lot. The win rate is 88% for white.
Okay, but
13%
small
draw.
sample size.
But it's a small sample size. I only see 8 games in the database. The top move here is C4 according to the engine, which no one is finding.
Well, that's like blowing open the position, like I said earlier.
Yeah, exactly. You have the bishop pair.
But
Um,
you have to lose your pawn.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. The D4 might hang.
I don't know. It looks like everything hangs.
Okay.
But yeah, after
it's fine.
D3,
Okay.
losing the piece, I think the game just went downhill from here.
Hmm.
There was a blunder here somehow. Oh no, it ended.
No,
corrected
that's
itself.
okay.
C4 check. Yeah,
D4, okay, D4.
takes free pawn here. Takes castles.
Right, 95.
Yeah, okay, so the game is 15 minutes delayed, so we don't actually see how it ended, but this looks like a simple conversion, I think.
Yeah. Just an extra piece.
Anyway, Yasmin, one of your UQ members is saying hi. It's Chess Shape. I don't know who that is. Chesscape.
Oh, right. Hello.
Hello, Theo. UQ are winning. Stop running your mouth. Okay. Thanks, Zach.
Okay, next game.
Next game. let's look at a different UQ game. Let's celebrate UQ for a moment.
Okay.
Let's see why UQ is doing well.
We looked at the UNSW game. UNSW versus UQ.
Oh yeah, I think we've looked at all of those games now. Actually,
Yeah.
it looks like UNSW is leading, but actually this board
Yeah.
two is not so simple
Board
because
two
the
is
bishop pair
Hmm.
could become strong.
Time situation is.
Yeah, let's go down to UCIT Monash. That seems to be
All right.
quite a
Should
strong
we look at the
matchup.
top board?
Let's look at this top board. This is Daniel Gong with black
Okay. Oh,
against Ryder to Stolen. These
This-
are both very strong players.
this looks like a very ugly Monoxy bind for black.
Yeah, so this is sort of a Marozzi. It's not really Marozzi, according to Sam, because the C pawn is still on the board and not the E pawn.
Yeah. So
It's an open King's Indian structure, I think is the correct term for it.
Wade Tartakawa defense.
Oh, it's a wade. It is a wade.
It's
No,
not a
it's
wade.
not.
No,
No.
wade.
Bishop's not out on G4.
That would be interesting to see.
Yeah, so this is the wade. This is the Tartakawa.
No, I think black's played bishop f5 this game.
But yeah, black played bishop f5 this game, and after knight h4, they just went back, which that's the thing. I mean, obviously the knight's
Yeah.
misplaced now, so the bishop comes back, and now it's.
I think black is playing for a win. Otherwise, they put it back on c8, where knight f3 might be a move.
I suppose so, but if it's back on.
Because
Actually,
the knight has
you-
no
you-
purpose on h4.
that is true. Yeah, probably.
But d7 makes sense because why would you put bishop all the way back?
Yeah, exactly. Now you can go for this, maybe. I don't know. Someone did that to me last week, and I was very upset.
E5. Yeah, it makes sense. E5.
E5, knight back to f3, and then takes, and they get this open King's Indian structure.
Yeah, taking is actually forced away pretty much because
Yeah, I mean, you
knight
really
c6
don't
is
want to
probably
lose this.
not.
You can go for the typical sort of King's Indian sack, where, sorry, I
You
just
take,
disconnected
and
for a
take,
moment.
take. And then
Yeah,
castle.
you take,
I'd say you have to castle here.
and I mean, you just
Yeah, I'd say
this is
c4 pawns.
this is messy.
And the
Yeah,
bishop's very.
he just takes, which looks pretty practical. Bishop g7, bishop e2, castles.
It's all standard.
Here, yeah, this is a very typical structure.
Okay.
But when I play these structures, I like my bishop on g2,
Yeah.
just because this looks pretty bad. Tall
Black.
pawn. But obviously, as a counter to that, you have
Decent.
it. Yeah, it always is. And one of the main structures is that sometimes this bishop is actually good, whereas in the Marozzi structure with the pawn here,
It's not as
the
good.
bishop just kills the middle of every game. So
Yeah, to take advantage of the light square bishop.
yeah,
and that.
exactly. Yeah, and they go for this good knight, bad bishop ending. This one, we see
Yeah.
queen d2 here.
I was
That was a
thinking
weird move,
I
by the
think-
way. But whatever.
Black should try to get d5. In. Maybe.
Yeah, but d5. But I also think it's possible that this bishop comes to life and we can sort of attack.
Yeah, maybe white will play g4, h4.
It looks like go for an opposite side castle
This looks
sort
nice.
of attack.
The other thing I'm looking at is the d6 pawn could get weak.
Oh, say hi to Yasmin from Zach. Zach's hi.
Oh, why is it doesn't even come
You don't even come to the club, Zach. Why are you watching?
He's a fan of your commentary. That's
He's a fan of after I told him to fuck off. Yeah.
Okay. Knight, take it.
E6, good question. That would win the bishop pair, which would be
Well, maybe the knight is better placed than the bishop on e6.
yeah, it probably is. And
Okay, well,
I mean, it doesn't win the pawn because of
it's
this.
not white's turn yet either.
It is also not white's turn. That's true.
Okay.
But
Next-
if
should
they
we go
probably
to
wouldn't do
another
it
game?
anyway. Yeah, so we'll
Twelve. Actually,
win against Selena on board 4
Whoa.
of the match. So
Alright.
let's go back to the start here because we actually haven't.
Yeah. Okay.
Lillian plays the French because she's from. That is true. Oh, it works here.
See something that was discussed
No.
in my junior year.
No, this is no. I know the story here. So there's this coaching account, and one thing that they do, one students, they use the same opening repertoire to teach them.
Oh,
So
yeah.
every single
And they only teach Cadillac and Carrier.
that's hilarious. players for
Some
me
good
to know about
openings
that.
there.
Yeah, no, they teach good openings there. No, at the them the d4, and they teach them the triangle against d4, and the after a it's not very good.
It does allow the Marshall Gambit.
It allows them,
Marshall Gambit is like 20 moves of theory.
they all just hope no one plays it. It's
Okay.
hilarious. But yeah, she plays the French anyway.
Okay,
Sorry, we'll
well,
continue.
There's,
Selena played an exchange for some reason.
yeah, I want to look at these piece sacrifice.
Yeah, so knight c3 in the exchange is a bit,
I think it's
Maybe bad.
supposed to be like queenside.
but I
castle.
like this queenside castle.
Well, why?
Yeah, this is an interesting.
I think it's
plan.
pretty ambitious, despite the French exchange.
Yeah, exactly. This is sort of what you go for if you play the French exchange for a win, which is not.
Say has a fast.
Yeah, so both sides are attacking. That's how it's going to work here.
What's white plan?
So Lillian plays b5. Rook e1 is played. Pretty typical French idea. Attack down the center. Bishop 6,
Okay.
which doesn't correct. He takes bishop took.
Why does where's white? So
Both sides just do this
Why?
instantly.
the position is balanced. If you go back,
Yeah.
like take d7, and then black is just up a piece, right? For a pawn. And
It's not so simple. I mean, you do have some ways to continue some pressure here, but
queen
it looks
c3.
pretty easy.
alright, does that blunder bishop b4? Oh no, that's pin. Very
Very legal move that
Yeah,
Aiden has
yeah.
just pointed out.
okay. Knight takes d4 seems like
Finding this though.
well.
And it's not
you
that
do have
bad,
to give
right?
the piece back.
Do you have to give the yeah, probably.
According to the engine, this top line.
What happens if you play knight b8?
All right.
Oh,
Bishop
this.
c7.
Okay, interesting.
Um,
And then somehow
Looks
you're
like-
losing. That's good.
yeah. Well. Couldn't.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess that's Selena's idea. It's a very position. Knight b8. I don't really want to.
Yeah. It's very rushed.
Yeah, I
Your
don't.
pieces are not out here.
It's objectively not a sacrifice, but
It's interesting.
it's interesting.
Black should just be weird. Black has used over an hour of time.
That is true. Black has used a lot of time. This is the live. Black is down to 27 minutes,
So
and that's plenty of time. Yeah, I guess so.
I think
It's quite low for move 11.
yeah. If Black gets in trouble later, then I feel like they've got trouble issues.
Definitely, yeah. And just for the record, the engine doesn't even want you to play bishop d7.
Okay,
It just wants you to lose your.
We have a comment. Sam Asaka needs to write a chess book. 1d3.
He's working on it.
Yeah, that's an answer to your question.
Yeah.
F. Valamus.
F. Velamus. I don't know who you like Sam's d3.
I like
Um,
Sam's d3.
I like Sam's d3 too. Anyway, yeah, I was just saying the top knight. The knight. Just give it up
Insane.
and take this.
Insane. Black's attack is crashing through first.
Yeah, of
Clearly.
course. I mean, Black's
White's
attack is.
knight has not even moved, so even the pawns
Pretty
aren't running
dangerous.
yet. So I think Black just has the initiative, which is probably like
Yeah, I
Gold
mean,
when
Selena's
it comes
on
to
the upper
attacking.
pawn.
switching to the type of the initiative to play for advantage.
Yeah. Anyway, that's an
Okay.
interesting position.
Should we go to Jonas's game?
Let Jonas against Tejas Datar.
We'll go back all the way up from 12 to now.
Yeah,
Oh, we've looked at 9.
we've looked at 9, so we'll look at 11 now, which is board 3 of Monash against Yusuf, which is a very interesting matchup. This
Okay.
might go either way.
I
It's looking
think-
very interesting.
The position looks very comfortable for Black, actually. Even
Yeah,
despite the engine not.
the engine doesn't
Three.
like this for white, but it's a
No.
little bit hard to.
The
I mean, the
loves
engine
it.
doesn't like this for black, but it's a little bit hard to see why.
I think,
Obviously, you're down 2 pawns. which is not
yeah,
good.
just castling it looks okay.
Yeah, if you castle, I think most of your problems are solved because this is what scares me.
Offside knight. That's the problem.
This is a bit annoying, but you can
Maybe
always take
Black's
this.
king is a bit weak as well later. I can't really understand why it's pawn 5 tables.
I mean,
it's
you're down
just
2
the
pawns.
material advantage, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Black's definitely more active. For it.
Black is active, but doesn't really do anything. I mean,
Rook He8 might be tendon.
Rook. Yeah, of course. Rook
All the
H8.
pieces come into life, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
this is sort of what Jonas does. He just plays very actively.
well, Knight E5 looks interesting, but I don't think it works right now because of Queen G2.
95, yeah, Queen G2. That's true. You need castle here. You just
Yeah,
need to get out of the
castling
attack.
seems so logical to finish your development.
Yeah, I don't think you have a really good option other than castling.
Yeah.
I mean, the engine likes E takes F7, but that looks like a bit overkill.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
I mean,
well,
it prevents
I can
Rook E8.
understand. Yeah,
so.
yeah.
My board was half an hour out on the stream.
Half an hour out?
I resigned and I had announced.
Oh, is this?
But on the screen, the video was down on 12 minutes.
Oh, I think the Leech's broadcast just started at the exact start time, but
Yeah.
you guys actually started 6 minutes
I think
late.
something might be wrong with the clocks.
Clocks are slightly off like that.
Yeah.
Well,
This should be fixed on other days.
did your opponent have 9 minutes left?
No.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like 35.
the clock must be.
Yeah, the clock must be slightly off.
I think the
on
white
some of these
clocks
games.
are so much higher than the black clocks.
Yeah,
So-
it looks like okay. It looks like the clocks aren't exactly.
So we might
This
ignore
means
it for now.
Yeah, 95 was 90.
All right, so
yeah, this
Should we
means Lillian isn't down this much time
should we go
probably.
to board 10? I think.
Let's
white-
look at board 10.
And then.
So this is Nick
Capitalize the
Illich
next
against Vincent Chen.
Alright,
Yeah,
looks like in English.
this does look like it is in English. It's reverse dragon, the knight b6 line. This is
Yep.
the
Nice.
very classical main line.
All right.
And then I usually play the move a3 here.
So this is
So
just sitting
D3
out
is-
the opening for white.
Basically,
Yeah.
yeah,
So if it's good opening for black, it must be a great opening for white.
fair enough. And yeah, usually I would play a3 b4 setups here.
So
But
double fear can it?
yeah. But it looks like whatever he's going for here is not
Yeah,
quite
Vincent's idea is very interesting. I think you're just going to
that theory.
point your
but-
bishops towards the queen side.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, this would be b4 now.
Yeah.
Which how is that
B4.
not hanging?
B4. Oh,
Okay,
hang on. Wait, if bishop,
so knight obviously hangs this. If bishop takes,
is there a queen b? Bishop takes. Wait.
is there takes anyway?
Yeah, there is. That's very cool.
So if takes,
Knight takes e5 works too.
knight takes
I
e5,
think queen b3 is more accurate.
and here, and here.
I think
Okay.
Queen b3 first.
Queen b3 first, probably more accurate. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So bishop wasn't played by the way. We're just looking
Yeah. So now
here. Yeah. Now.
there's no knight.
a bunch of
There's
things
no bishop
hanging.
c3 because knight c6.
So yeah. After b4, which is a very nice move actually. Very.
I think this must be preparation.
Yeah. It looks like it. Sorry. It looks like it was preparation. Unless maybe this is his regular opening. I don't
Alright,
actually know
let's
what
see.
Vincent plays.
Go back. How common is b4 in this position?
It is
so
actually
that's
the top move. Okay.
Very good.
He probably just knows the
Yeah,
theory. then.
b4, b5, take on b5 is very simple plan.
Yeah, so obviously bishop
Okay.
f6 protects
Yeah,
e5,
and queen b3.
queen b3 check, king h8,
And
and you
92.
move, knight
Is that,
d2.
is that a move?
Knight d2 is not played before,
Alright,
it's
out
a
of book.
novelty.
Out of book. It's,
But out of book, I suppose. It's not a ridiculous novelty though. I mean, you're just redeveloping the knight to the queen side.
well, you have to be sure about the consequences of f4, I'd say. Because
F4, that's
gives the
true.
bishop.
F4, but this, right?
Oh, no. Oh, you bishop.
So-
Okay, cool.
Yeah, not a huge problem.
Maybe-
Putting a piece on c5 is a
Alright.
super common idea in the English, but
Well,
often you just do this.
Maybe knight d4.
Knight d4 is the move that scares me the most. I think knight d4 is
That might
potentially-
give the bishop back.
Yeah.
Okay, well, maybe it's not something you're too worried about as white because you got the strong bishop on g2. Maybe
Yeah.
it's compensation.
So are you planning to take this? I guess.
Well,
so.
I think you'd have to because it's staring
Yeah.
into your position.
Where's this knight going?
Could go to a4.
Could go to a4. Usually you want to
Sam
get
would
to
put
this
in
sort of
B1.
position. Sam Osaka would put this knight on b1, I believe.
I
And
think
then
a4 is
yeah,
the most logical.
yeah.
Go to c5. Actually, the English this setup is what I do online to farm rating points. It's very easy, very simple.
Sounds good then. Yeah. And yeah, putting a piece on c5 in the English is what you do if you want to win again. You just put your bishop there, you put your knight there, you just put everything
White
there.
might
And
be
you
able
stack
to
up
get
on the
some
queen side.
minority attack rolling if black goes c6 as well.
That is true. c6 b5 looks like an issue.
Yeah,
Potentially.
I think
Um,
it's very comfortable for white in that case.
Yeah, knight
Despite the
d4.
bishop.
Yeah, so probably for this reason, knight d4 wasn't played, or maybe for another reason. Rook e8 is played instead. Maybe
Okay,
like
it's a very
e5,
solid option.
e4. I don't really know.
I think bishop e6 is the idea.
Bishop
Next.
e6, yeah, likely to kick this out. Rook ac1 is played, and we get some pressure down with
Yeah,
stick
I
file.
don't
This
think-
is
Would ever bother taking c6.
yeah. So white will probably never take this.
'Cause it's your best piece, and I don't think the pawn structure damage is worth losing the bishop here.
Yeah, exactly. You pretty much never take this. Even
Yeah,
like
even if you lose the c6 pawn, black
Yeah.
is probably still better.
you even often don't take the rook in this sort of line just because the bishop's so powerful in this.
Well, yeah. I'd
Not
say-
for free. I mean, like if it's an exchange sacrifice, like
Yeah.
this sometimes isn't even that good. Taking it for the knight is definitely not worth it.
Okay.
If it wins a pawn, maybe, but probably still not.
All right. Should we
okay.
look at Haran's game?
Yeah, let's look at Haran's game. We haven't looked at that yet. So this is in the Melbourne Adelaide match.
Yep.
So what opening is this? Why are there pawns on
It's
a5
a
and
character. I
h5?
think it's a classical character.
This is a classical paradigm. That's true.
Knight 3 bishop h4. Oh no, h4.
Yeah.
Oh, it does come later.
h4 comes later. Okay,
All right, fair
that's
enough.
a weird
It's okay.
move
Bishop
order.
f4.
But yeah, sure.
Maybe it's to stop some. I don't even know. Queen c7 maybe. But
I don't really get it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bishop f4 is strange.
I mean, if I was to punish this knight f3 setup, I probably wouldn't play knight d7. I would just play this because h4 hasn't been played yet. So if this happens, we just do this. We open the h file.
yeah, I'd say this is very good for black because
I would like this setup.
the light square bishop has no more squares that are like effective.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, when your opponent plays a sort of weird move order or something like that you haven't seen
Yeah,
before,
you
you
should
can
check out Brendan's game with Gary Lane in the City Chess Championships.
Okay. Yeah, true. But yeah, if your opponent plays a sort of weird move order, there's often something wrong with it. So just look for what's different in place, that sort of thing. But yeah, he plays the same thing. He probably assumes that they're going to play h4, h6, h5, go back, and then bishop d3. It's exactly the same as the main line. But bishop f4 is played instead. e6, h4, h6. I don't really know what
Alright.
bishop f4 adds to this position, but
I think it's getting decent.
I guess so.
Well, this is transposition. I know this is very.
Yeah, now they've transposed.
Mainstream.
So I guess that's what black wanted. I
this
guess
is
they
just
could have
like
maybe
it
gotten
looks like a
better.
mainline.
Yeah, this is completely mainline.
before.
Queen a5 check now is actually the move.
I would have thought you could queen a5, queen a6 for the knight back would be it. But I guess
No, you're not going for queen a6 in this line. So the idea in this line is actually you just want to provoke c3 to create a weakness when the
I
king
see.
castles.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then you go for c5. Another idea is that if they block, you play bishop. You play this very weird sequence. You play bishop b4
oh that provokes
Here.
c3, doesn't it?
to provoke c3. You go
Then-
back
c4.
c4, and then here,
Yeah, and then
and you trade. Oh no, it doesn't work in this line actually because of d4 apparently.
Yeah,
But yeah,
d6
the
is
idea
soft.
is now you've weakened d4.
yeah, that makes sense. Right.
Yeah.
So
So that's a common idea. That's why queen a5 is the move. So he just plays c3 immediately.
yeah, c3.
b4, b4,
b4.
b4, b4 is okay. b4 has been played before a few
Well,
times.
b4
actually.
looks like a preparation for what White's attack when Black castles queenside.
Yeah, this sort of early a4, b4 stuff is why I quit playing this
And
knight
also,
to 7 line of
White
Hikaru.
also has plans to attack on the king side as well with g4.
Yeah, so White's just going to expand a bunch on both sides.
I think White will not castle this game.
I assume they're not. They could castle kingside. That looks possible. And sometimes
Yeah.
it happens in these lines.
It's
of
still an
Hikaru.
option. I don't know where Black will castle actually. Black might
Black
not
usually goes
not choose
queenside, I believe.
king side. Yeah, king side looks a bit dangerous. But if
King-
White has castle king side, maybe it's safe.
Yeah, no, I actually think Black should go kingside in this line.
King side. Okay. Well,
Just because the typical idea in the Caravan is if the pawn's on h5, you go
Yeah.
kingside.
what is going on with Black's queen?
If you play pawn to h4, you go queenside just because there's knight g5.
Why is Black's queen on e3? Okay, a4.
94.
I like it for Black actually.
Yeah, so yeah, Black's
White has
queen
the
is a
bad
bit
bishop.
weird, but yeah,
White's
bad bishop definitely.
pawns on the opposite color. of the
Some
bishop.
misplaced queen stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Interesting.
bad pawn on the queen side.
Okay, I'll go look at it.
Yeah, so White plays this typical 94 idea. I can keep talking about the Caro all
Oh,
day. I
let's
don't
get
care.
to the current position first.
Yeah, we'll get to the
A5.
current position. A5 makes
like
sense.
it.
Takes.
There's
They don't even take back.
There's another pawn I don't know. Well,
Yeah.
a5 looks like it would just drop at any point. So
That's true. I would just want to get my rook out, but I suppose.
too many pieces on the board.
Too many pieces on the board? You're scared of your rook?
I'm not so scared. I think it's okay. Rook takes is fine. Yeah, I'm not too sure. Okay, so
I like
we've
rook
seen
takes.
the two games that have already finished. Have caught up with the broadcast.
Yeah, so let's just look at the end of
Broadcast
those
caught up with
games.
the games.
So this game was Ray Chang 1 against Finn Rayner. This is South Australia versus Unimilk. It's a bit of a sad game.
Okay, look, yeah, it looks like a big.
Finn plays the Exchange Slav. Okay.
We go back to the position. I think we look at this
They
game.
play a perfectly symmetrical Exchange Slav.
Queen
Queen
B3.
B3 is a thing. Yeah, I've seen Queen B3 before.
Makes sense with the bishop on f5.
Yeah, it makes sense with the bishop on f5 especially.
Yeah, it's a key bet.
Bishop b4 is a move, of course. Bishop b5 is also a move.
Castle.
Castles, takes. Oh yeah, this is what people play when they try to win. It looks really funny to just give up the bishop pair for no reason, but the idea is
It was actually regretting it after he played it. because
The knight on e4 is very strong.
yeah. The thing is, I've played similar positions with black before, and you actually do just go for this if you really want to win. And the idea is you get a weakness on the c file, and you just try really hard for that. Yeah, and it looks like that was sort of his idea.
Yeah.
Hang on, what is going on with the broadcast? I don't know. It's fine. Yeah, it's the game's still here. Knight a5 is played. This is pretty typical. a6, kicking that away, and then rook c8. And yeah, this is what you do if you want to win in the exchange slot. You have to give up your bishop pair and play this. As a counter, white can now win also if you don't punish the pawn fast enough, because they have the bishop pair and it's good in the endgame. So 95, 94, okay, c1. It looks like black's getting a solid advantage here, though. Like b5. Now this pawn is
It's a
stuck.
clamp. It's a nice clamp.
It's a nice clamp, but the bishop pair is still obviously a nice
Okay,
stunning
well,
advantage.
I'd say the reason is black's pawn structure is a bit weak after a4.
Yeah, a4 could be a very important move to play here. a4 looks
Hey,
quite
not
strong.
now.
Hang on, it loses immediately.
Not a4. Yet.
Yeah. Hang on, the computer says equal though. What exactly is it seeing? It just likes f3. Okay. Fair enough. I guess f3, there's nowhere immediately good for you to go. So after
F3,
I mean-
92.
92,
You do get to c4. though.
you get a c4. Okay.
Oh,
I guess what do you do on c4 though? I mean, knight
yeah.
c5 gets played.
moving
and then
that knight gives up c5.
yeah,
Could be a
exactly.
problem with black's setup, actually.
So you just move this here and
Well, it seems
c9.
decently comfortable for white.
Looks playable for both
Black
sides. I
has
think.
one good square.
Yeah, black has one good square, white has one good square, and white has the bishop pair. Black has a bit of a space advantage though, so I think it's probably equal.
I'm struggling to understand the evaluation.
The evaluation says slightly better for black.
But- I would like to play this for white. Or
I'm a
maybe
bit biased
G5,
because I play this with
G5.
black all the time.
I was
G5,
actually thinking you would play G5.
G5?
Three played F6.
grab e3. G5 and grab e3.
G5 and grab e3.
And it looks a bit scary.
Yeah.
But I guess you get compensation with the king being weaker.
Yeah,
Maybe even sack the rook.
you just kind of
Yeah,
attack
yeah.
down the center,
Yeah, I think black's
and I
king
mean
is
you're
weaker
opening
now.
up the position on the bishop's pair.
Yeah,
I
so
guess,
maybe
even though you
the,
win the pawn.
the strong knight and the bishop pair give compensation. The weak
Yeah.
king as well. So maybe white's not entirely worse.
Anyway,
Maybe
let's go
it's
back
equal.
to the game. So knife out of here. So yeah, Finn didn't play f3. She played rook c1. Oh no, rook c1, f6 here. It was here. Yeah, she didn't play f3. She played knight c5. And here, Ru Chang takes. And now Finn has a few weaknesses on this file, but is this bishop getting in?
I
Could
think
be
black
quite
needs to
powerful.
play e5.
Black needs to play e5 immediately, but it looks like they don't. Oh, they play knight b7. Knight b7 also stops. It doesn't really stop bishop
I'm
b6. You can
confused,
still
why
play
not
it.
e5?
Why not e5? Yeah, I don't actually know. e5 looks like a really natural move.
E5 just looks like, okay,
I guess,
when you teach your kids at chess class, put your pawns in the center.
yeah, exactly. Put your pawns in the center, block out this bishop. And it looks pretty
It's
natural.
perfect.
It's
Anyway.
perfect. I mean, I guess maybe he was worried about this being weak, but
He played at e5 anyway. I'm just struggling why he chose to put his knight in b7, not keep c6 to try.
I don't know.
Anyway, it's a bit strange. but
b7 does attack a
it attacks the
pawn.
pawn.
So, yeah.
Okay,
Ru Chang's young. He likes attacking pawns.
that's a good idea. Actually.
a4 looks natural, but loses the pawn. So
A4. What's wrong with a4 now?
it just
Oh, c5 is dropping. Yeah.
c5 is dropping. So maybe bishop d6 anyway is necessary, but that move looks
Still, the
difficult
pawn
to
is
me.
probably lost, but at least you can get counterplay on the pawns on the queen
Yeah,
side.
you're definitely losing the pawn there, but
Very
I mean,
interesting. Okay.
here,
Yeah.
here, and now a4. Yeah, this looks like a.
Okay, well,
This looks playable.
it looks like white is actually getting the pawn back, but
Yeah.
the pawn structure difference is probably what's giving black an advantage here. Like if you keep going through the line, queen d6,
Yeah, queen d6.
take,
Takes. The main difference here between the two players' positions is
one
this
big pawn island as well.
Yeah,
It's a
this
huge
is pretty
sausage.
bad. Yeah. I mean, you don't want to see 3-pawn like this. in this
I
sort of
mean, if you
position.
can get rid of
Yes.
it, maybe white has good drawing.
Yeah,
chances.
if you
It
can
probably is solid
immediately play
draw.
this, then maybe.
Yeah,
Um,
black's just pushing for a win to win c3 and then try to
Yeah,
push
that's how black
black plus
will
one.
try to win. But what actually happened?
I'd say it's still
Yeah.
practically quite hard for black to win because it might
it's
get to a-
difficult.
it
It's
might
really
get to
hard.
like a 4 versus 3 situation.
Yeah, getting to even 5-on-4 is kind of difficult.
Yeah. Well, black does have an extra bishop to help.
That is true. The bishop will help. But
Maybe-
if the bishops somehow come off, this becomes a really difficult endgame.
I think black is definitely very comfortable there.
Black
White is
should
playing
be-
for a draw.
White is playing for a draw. That is
Yeah.
the case.
Okay.
A draw might be what White wants to.
Should we look at
This
some
matchup.
more?
Hang on, let's just
yeah,
get
like
quickly
this?
to the end of this game.
All right. Maybe we should look at red wings.
Yeah, I just want to finish off this game quickly. So takes
Ooh.
knight d3 wins the bishop pair back,
Okay. Black has not castled.
and now wins a pawn. And now c4 is an interesting move. I like
think
the look of that.
C4 just
I'm just
hangs the rook on d1.
Yeah, it doesn't quite work.
You can't take it.
Yeah.
C4.
Oh, you can't take on c4. No, and then you just lose. Okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
uh,
that looks a bit wrong.
this two pawns down. So I think you'd have to go for what your original idea was. There's still there's just way too many pieces for black.
Yeah, and you're saying the time was the time that I see.
On
Yeah,
the
that looks
screen
right, that
it was
looks
down
right.
16 minutes, but
Yeah, that looks
in
right.
the game it was something like
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So the time is slightly off in the stream, but that's okay. Just
Alright.
give me a moment. This is fine. This can stay
All right. I'll go to board 5 then. It's a Uni Adelaide, Uni Melbourne game. This is the top board, I think. Yes. All right. So we'll have a look at what openings was. It looks like
Was this the Marotti?
it
No.
looks like some sort of
Ugh.
weird knight off with e6.
Okay.
I'm not
So
sure what's going on.
This
Okay.
is a close Sicilian to
Sicilian.
open.
Interesting. H5. Okay, H5 is a knight off move, but A6 hasn't been played yet. So I'm confused.
Oh, yeah, I think we looked at this game.
Alright,
Oh no,
A6.
we looked at this very similar game. I think.
F4. Okay, so why do you
F4.
play why F3, F4?
Why F3 and F4? Yeah,
Why
question.
F3, F4? Why not just go F4 now? All right, computer says F3. I am struggling to
I mean, I don't understand F4. I
Maybe-
understand F3. You're
F4,
taking
this
the center, you're
E5.
controlling the
I'm
center.
not sure. All right, let's see what happens if F4 now.
Sorry, yeah, I can move this.
Okay,
one.
castle. Okay, nothing wrong with F4 now, but
Oh.
it's just another line. I guess.
Yeah, F4's another line. All right, F3.
Maybe F3 makes more sense with H5. F4 makes more sense with H5. Inserted.
I suppose so. Yeah, it seems so. I don't really understand why.
I would say the H5 pawn is just a target. with
I guess
the
so.
battery.
Yeah, I guess you're just attacking this, and they can't castle.
Yeah.
Which is a bit annoying.
Funny.
I guess it's not. I mean, it's not a clever plan, but it's a
No,
good.
no, I think it's a good plan.
It's good.
F4 is actually where your pawn wants to be anyway.
Yeah, and now
F3 is very inflexible.
Hamish gets every Scheveningen player's dream, which is a different structure from the Scheveningen. You get a hedgehog.
It almost looks like white's in time for E5. To be honest.
Can you play E5? Let's have a look. E5
So
takes,
take,
takes,
queen takes is bad because
Takes.
of bishop F4.
bishop F4.
Seems
You're
like
stuck to go here.
it seems like white is just has complete control of the position.
A lot of.
Oh, E5 is possible. Never
E5?
mind. I didn't see E5 because E5 I thought the rook would have to abandon.
I mean, this is hanging, right?
Yeah. No, but it's like a sacrifice.
It's a sacrifice.
Well, it's a force winning material, but I don't know if white can actually be too much better here because
It looks extremely messy, but okay.
yeah. Well,
Okay.
black's development is kind of shocking, but also there's a lot of potential in those pieces. Because
Okay, I believe you.
White's king's a bit weak with the F1 gone.
Yeah. Anyway,
If
Ray
you ever
doesn't.
move your F pawn, your king comes in something weak.
Yeah, Ray doesn't go for those complications. He just plays A3, which is
How long
what-
do you think for A3?
5 minutes. He probably didn't even see E4.
Okay,
Maybe
E5.
I'm sure he saw E5, but
E5
probably
was
didn't.
interesting. I think it's a bit dynamic for someone's taste.
Yeah, I think a lot of
I think
people-
Ray is quite a solid player.
Ray, yeah, I feel like Ray's quite solid. Bishop F3 is played.
Yeah.
Bishop D7, Bishop B7, Bishop F2.
Bishop F2 I don't get. Hang on, why are you moving your bishop again? What else?
Maybe
can
just to
black-
open the E5.
Yeah,
I mean,
but what
Rook
else?
E1's coming.
What else can black play? Oh, white play. Maybe Queen E2. Yeah, Queen E2 I like. Because
Queen 2 makes sense.
if Knight C5, you just defend the pawn and get Bishop F2. If in that case, but Bishop F2 is a bit richer.
Yeah, I'm thinking what he's going for is to play
Rook E1, yeah.
Rook
but
E1
I actually
here.
think the rook belongs in F1.
perhaps Queen
Queen E1, but the king might not castle at all. Like in these sorts of structures, black king might not castle. Because black wants to expand on the queen side and also wants to attack on the king side. So it would make sense to castle either way.
E1. Fair enough. Yeah, but I mean,
Because this is like a calm position almost. It's a hedgehog.
yeah, I mean, it's a
It feels like a
pawn
hedgehog.
hedgehog
It feels
type.
like a hedgehog.
It is a hedgehog, I guess. I mean, the B pawn's
Yeah.
on
And
B5,
the hedgehog,
not
the common
B6.
plan is like not to castle and just hack.
Hack on
king
both
side.
sides. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I mean, the king usually goes kingside in the hedgehog, but still,
yeah, H5 makes sense now, actually, I feel like. Because
yeah, H5 is a plan in the hedgehog. I've seen it before.
I
You just go
wanna
for
know
this,
if
and you
go-
go like that or something.
Yeah,
something.
bishop on F3 is a good conclusion.
Yeah,
I think white has a very solid position.
yeah.
Black
so
is
what
quite
was,
dynamic too.
Yeah, so continuing the actual game, bishop e2, rook c8, rook e1, queen b8, the usual hedgehog I did.
Is this the actual game?
Yep.
Why is it not? Oh, yeah, fair enough. That's right.
Sorry. H3.
Queen E2?
H3 just stops the pawn from pushing too far. Queen a8 now.
Right,
This
that
is a
makes
pretty
sense.
typical hedgehog I did. You just attack
Battery.
e4. Battery on e4. Queen e2 now, and then king f8. King f8 is
Not a mouse slip.
not a mouse slip, actually. No, the rooks want to stay where they are, and because of that, the king will just castle manually by walking to f8.
King's very safe on F8. I think I can't really tell the difference between E8 and F8, to be honest with the king. Maybe
He's worried about the e file opening up with
yeah,
something like f5.
the rook and queen are staring to the king. Like,
But if f5, just e5, right?
There might be some
If
knight,
e5, then
knight d5 sacrifice later.
That's true. 95 is a common sacrifice idea here, so it's potentially.
Well, it's just
Something
white
to
has
do.
a strong advantage. Yeah. I'm not sure why. Okay, E5.
I mean, white always has a strong
E5 is a
advantage.
possibility.
E5, yeah.
But it's not
E5 is
sufficiently protected.
E5 is, I imagine,
It's
what he's calculating.
Sort of
He's
move you
thinking-
play when the key's in the center.
Oh, he played actually. He played Queen E3.
Queen E3,
Queen E3, okay.
the coordination looks a bit suspicious to me.
Yeah, I'm actually like.
But I guess no matter what white does, as long as they keep the position together, I think white's space advantage.
Yeah,
should
I
give
mean,
them-
white has a lot of time here,
Yeah, white's good.
a lot of space, a lot of time. Hamish can't really
All right.
choose much here. Like, he just kind of has to play the position that Ray lets him.
I see. Okay.
It's a hedgehog.
Should we go back to UNSW games? Or
Let's go
look
back
at
to
board
UNSW.
We'll look at board 7.
Oh, board 7? Oh, yeah, we haven't really looked at that one at all, but that is Charles Newbold from. Oh,
Ooh.
sorry, this is Cassandra Lim from Unimel playing into Charles Newbold from Adelaide.
Okay, so it's like a classic hanging pawns position.
This is a hanging point position. How did we get here? This is a triangle.
Triangle. Oh, is it Marshall Gambit? It's a Marshall Gambit.
It's a Marshall Gambit. Wait,
All right, failed-
White is from Melbourne. How
Failed
is this
Marshall-
happening?
Failed Marshall Gambit.
All right, crazy.
Is it Marshall Gambit declined? Not to me.
Oh, this is the Forgotten variation.
Oh,
This is one of my favorite named variations. Yeah.
why
I
was
don't
it forgotten?
I don't remember the story of why it's the Forgotten variation, but I
I'll do
remember-
some research.
Yeah, you can do some research. Why is this called the Forgotten variation? But I actually knew that.
It's cool.
I didn't just
Cool
see
piece
that.
of chess trivia.
I actually knew that. I imagine someone probably wrote a book once and just forgot it was a thing and just left it out or something like that. That sounds like something that would happen in the chess world. Hey, what are you doing in here? You're about to enter the camera, so be careful.
I can see.
Oh, I can't find anything
Is
about.
anyone watching?
9.
9 people, excellent.
I can't find anything about the forgotten variation.
can't
If
find-
anyone watching the video, if anyone watching the stream could tell us anything about the forgotten variation, that'd be very helpful.
Yeah, I really want to know why this is
Like,
called the
audio
Forgotten
quality is
variation.
like fucking 144p.
Hey, be quiet.
You see?
Queensland is watching. It's just Queensland people watching. They're all cheering for Queensland.
Let's go Queensland.
Let's go Queensland.
Is it just Queensland people watching?
It's what I'd say if I was from Queensland.
Let's go fulfill the Queensland people.
I go to UNSW, so let's get UNSW.
Yeah, I mean it's Queensland versus UNSW. You guys are just here to get lost.
Yeah.
You can count me for
Classic rivalry.
Hey, there are 4 people. There are 4 people watching on one laptop, so the numbers are deflated.
Would you be full watching on one laptop?
Look at the stream. It says there's 4 people there.
Where? What people are
He says 12 in total because he's got 4 people watching.
Hello, everyone watching.
Hello, all the 4 people watching. Is there like a UQ room being like leased out now with like
I doubt that.
Okay, should we go back to the game?
with like a live
Go
stream?
back to the Forgotten Variations.
Yeah.
All right.
The lead chess is 30 people.
So-
It's 11 anonymous people. I don't know
93.
what it is.
But the thing, those people don't log in when they watch it. SSC have 25 anonymous.
Yeah, so the Forgotten Variation was played in C5, which is the top move. A3 takes.
And we have a funny pawn structure. Oh,
We have
if white takes on c5, we have triple pawns.
Yeah, but that's never going to happen. And I don't think black should take either. I think you should leave the structure.
Yeah.
This is a pretty typical Nimzo
I
structure.
think you'd keep the tension here because if you release the tension, whichever side does it, it just benefits the other side. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like white will double their
never
pawn,
take.
white will straighten out their pawns if black takes. If white takes black's pawns, then they triple their pawns.
Yeah,
Black
exactly.
can play queen a5 easily, pick them up. If queen d4, then maybe knight f6, knight c6. Should you get?
Yeah, so both sides continue
Pawns.
developing for a while. No one does this immediately, but I want to see why they ended up taking. Castles, h6.
Okay, looks like white just wants to play against black wants to play against the hanging pawns.
Why are both sides playing h6 and h3?
Well,
What's
bishop
going on?
g5. Right.
Why did white do it?
I cannot explain that.
Okay.
I think
Creating looks.
something like rook b1 would be nice.
Yeah, I think rook b1 is sort of the move you want to play. Or just bishop f4.
Yeah.
But
Okay, queen c7.
queen c7 stops bishop f4, so nice move. Here,
Okay.
queen
and
c2.
queen c2.
And now they take. Who takes.
Okay. Well,
What's the reason for this caption now?
I think black just likes to play against the hanging pawns. It's just
That makes sense.
it's very simple. But white does have the bishop pair again. We should stop emphasizing the bishop pair. But
No, I
an
mean, the
important-
bishop pair is coming up.
it's quite an
It's a
important
main theme in a lot of
theme
these
in
games.
positions, yeah.
And this is a very open position, so it's potentially.
Well, white does have some weaknesses.
White obviously has the hanging pawns. So
yeah.
the idea in any hanging pawn structure is to basically attack one of the pawns or make it move,
No, you
and then you attack the backwards one.
Yeah.
Roughly.
or you could stop both of them.
Or stop both of them from moving.
B6.
B6 is played.
It's
So-
very easy. And then you can have the Nimzo plan, bishop a6, knight a5, and check c4.
Yeah, it looks like they now play bishop a6. So
Yeah,
yeah, I mean,
it's-
black's plan is much simpler, but white has a space advantage.
It's
and
quite-
probably-
An annoying pin going down a6, f1 diagonal.
Yeah, it
I
looks
don't think
kind of-
white wants to play c5 either.
If
Because
you
that
ever
would
play
give-
c5, knight
D5.
d5 is played. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, and that's sort of annoying.
Well, white just needs to hold the position together for a bit and then consolidate.
Yeah.
And then maybe you can launch the pawn.
Kingside,
No, pawn push.
pawn push.
White's goal is always to push the pawn and get a pass pawn.
Yeah, usually.
And with the bishop
Getting
pair, it might be
D5
very,
is-
very good.
Yeah, looks quite strong with d5.
Yeah. But black
Okay.
is quite solid, no weaknesses.
Yeah, nothing serious. Do you have any games with a
Oh,
swinging eval?
I
We
think
do. We have Tejas Deltar against Jonas Sito, and this is a Manash Usid game.
Right.
The eval here is insane. It's like +5.
plus
What is
five.
going on here?
Okay,
Let's
Black's-
look at what happened
black's
since we came
king
here.
looks very amazing.
So
Nice.
Tejas actually took an f7, which is the move we said looked too risky for anyone to actually play, but he played it.
He is
Um,
beyond fear.
And then knight e4 was played.
94.
Knight e4 is crazy.
Oh, wait, hang on. Does white take with the queen, then rook e8? Is that the idea?
No, it just hangs.
No, it's a pin though. Oh, let's look at 95. Okay, never mind. That's too crazy. All right, so what's the idea behind 94?
I guess it attacks c3.
Yeah, but why can't queen take?
Well, it's just pinned.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Come on, Aiden.
It's late at night.
It's late at night. True, it is late here
I've been playing
at
chess all day.
UNSW. We are hosting from UNSW, by the way.
Okay, that's
I
fair
think
enough.
you all know that.
All right, so 95,
95
deflects the queen.
Looks
and the knight.
strong.
Right, just simple win of a piece.
That should be a simple win of a piece, but white actually castles.
Queen d6 looks interesting too. Like if you play 95, queen d6.
d5, queen
If
d6.
you take on,
Is that just to threaten me?
yeah?
So now if you take, it's made in one.
That's funny.
That could have been Jonas's idea. I wouldn't put it past him.
That would be very sad if that happened.
Yeah, that
Okay, Tejas is better. take.
Yeah, Tejas wouldn't hang that probably.
Yeah, I think castles was what
Castles
we were screaming
is-
for before.
Castles is a practical move.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
should have just played that
So
before taking
white just has a
F7.
monster pawn at f7 that black has to deal with.
Yeah, so
It's a bit far away from everyone else. Okay,
yeah, so black
take.
takes this, white takes back.
yeah.
White now takes this pawn on c4,
I think
and
the position has gone terribly for black.
yeah, this now
Past
looks
few moves.
really bad. I mean, as soon as white castled, it already looked really
Yeah,
scary.
because white will keep the queens on and take advantage of the black king's position.
Yeah, exactly. And even if they don't, they're up 2 pawns, right?
Oh, and they have 2 pawns or 1?
They're
Oh,
2
the
pawns.
f7 pawn, the c3 pawn.
I
is
mean,
really
the
good.
f7 pawn is likely going to.
Also the
Hang.
piece activity. I think white is just
Actually, is the f7 pawn even hanging? Can you even take it? What if I really quickly just play bishop a3 promote?
yeah, that's an idea.
What do you do? What do you do about that?
You'd have to play knight d6 or something.
If you play knight d6, I just take it.
Yeah, and then like, queen e8.
Queen, yeah, if I can play
Alright,
queen
but
e8,
then
I
rook
will.
d8. Okay, so
Yeah.
it's not so.
No,
good.
it's not as clear as that, but
Queen e3 threatens queen takes a7. So knight e6.
That is true.
probably more
That's-
the best move.
yeah.
Oh, knight e6 is okay.
I mean, I'm doubtful this pawn's actually hanging. I think he might.
Well,
might
queen
be-
takes f7 is a potential threat.
Queen takes f7 is potential. It's not happening right now because of queen
Okay,
takes
that's interesting.
knight. So,
So-
yeah, this game looks.
My assessment is
Yeah, it looks like
white is
Tejas will
crushing
likely win
because of the
this.
king position and the material.
Yeah, and we also saw on board 12 of the
Yep.
Monash Usid match that
Okay.
black is much better because Selena sacked a piece unsoundly. And what actually happened there was
Black, give it up.
black gave it up. Black gave back the piece. A very
I think we saw
nice
that.
plan.
Yeah,
We looked at that before. We
and
said it looked
black is
difficult
just
to find.
in control. But black's down a pawn though.
yeah, and black actually plays best move here. They go rook a6, attacking this, rook b6 here, queen b8, putting some more pressure on the queen side.
Yeah, it's very easy to
C3.
play for black though.
Yeah, this becomes a very easy position.
I
Queen
don't think black
a7,
can
very
lose this.
natural.
Maybe if white consolidates too much,
I mean,
But-
bishop c1 is a very sad looking move.
bishop cannot move c1.
You can never move that bishop. Yeah, that bishop's stuck there. You're basically up a
The
piece.
knight is stuck too.
The
Well,
knight is stuck on g1. Yeah,
you can
this-
h3, maybe.
H3. Okay, sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
this-
bishop a3 seems like game over.
Yeah,
Bishop
so
a3
it
just
looks
wins
like
a2.
it looks like Monash will be up 2 boards pretty soon. It looks like they're winning on boards 3 and 4 in their match. So it's up to Daniel.
Yeah, we don't like you, Sid, right?
I mean,
Yeah,
fair enough.
rivals.
It's up to Daniel Gong and Vincent Chung to try to bring this back for you, Sid, on the top 2 boards. All right, let's
Should we
go
go back to
back.
UNSW?
I want to go back to UNSW because we do have a lot of UK people watching.
Okay, Cameron seems to have an advantage now.
F. Vilemos, thank you. Go UNSW. Let's go Cameron. Yeah. Cameron's board
Okay,
2.
f4 has happened on the board, but the bishop pair is gone. What's happened?
Yeah, where'd the bishop pair go? That was the whole
F4
advantage.
was out.
Yeah, so what happened was after rook e6, which was the last move we saw, queen d2. Cameron kicked the bishop, which is a wise move.
Yeah, always kick the bishop on g5 with h6.
Not
Just-
always.
No,
I
just
mean,
tell it where it's going. Ask it where it's going.
ask where it's going. Yeah, a lot of times this will be useful. Sometimes you have to worry about things like this. But
Okay, well,
obviously
I
that's
think
not an issue here because you can
the
just
white
walk
pieces
all
are
kinds of
just
center.
so badly coordinated.
Yeah,
That's
you're
the
not ready for
problem.
a sacrifice. So bishop goes back to h4. Knight a5 is played, and then for some reason white takes. He gives up the bishop pair.
I don't understand. Hang on.
I don't understand why they didn't do it last time if they wanted to do it.
Maybe they want to play f4 now, but then there'll be like some g5 thing.
Possibly.
Is that possible? Well, I feel like,
Like if they play f4 now.
that
what
was white's
happens?
best piece. It's the
Yeah,
bishop on
f4
h4.
looks okay.
No, but I
there's
think
anything super
white
wrong
was
with
worried
f4.
about rook, like queen takes or something at g5, forking the pieces on f4. So like,
About-
if you do f4,
f4,
pawn takes,
pawn
queen
takes, takes,
queen takes,
queen takes,
rook takes,
queen takes,
and
g5,
g5. but you can play rook f5. Yeah,
rook f5 attacks the knight.
So
Okay, so
you'd
that's
actually
probably
be-
something that was missed in calculation.
Yeah, so I think that's the reasoning behind taking the knight immediately. Because
Yeah,
I can't understand why you do take that if it's your best piece. Maybe f4 was white's last chance of opening position, but
yeah.
C4,
So they started with c4 just, I guess, to kick.
or c4 attacks
The
the knight, but it's protected.
But like, come on,
Okay, b6 just holds everything, and white
b6 holds
should
it.
just be worse because c4 is too big to hold on to.
Yeah, rook b5 is a funny looking move.
What's the plan?
I guess.
Okay, what happens if knight takes c4? What happens?
If knight takes c4, what happens? I think here, right? Does that work?
No, there's
No,
no.
that doesn't even work.
Okay. Well, looks like you take e5. Can take e5 d6. Yeah. So that position looks like okay for white though.
Yeah,
Because even though white might be dropping something like a pawn, white will get very active, which is better what they had was like a
yeah. So this is likely
position
why.
with static weaknesses.
So for this reason, yeah, Cameron probably doesn't want to take this, even though it looks like a free pawn.
It will be chopped at any time.
Yeah.
I think he wants to like
He wants to leave
solidify
this-
his other pawns, like maybe d6 would be an idea.
Yeah,
Really
in this
grab-
sort of position, we just leave this bishop really weak here.
Yeah, rook
obviously
c6. Rook
it's
c6 is interesting too, because then your queen can stay on
Six is
c7 to defend e5.
That's true. Then you might win a pawn.
And tripling c5 it's logical too. Okay, knight b7.
Knight b7. I like knight b7 because
He's just
this
ignoring,
square's weak.
he's ignoring the pawn.
Yeah, ignore the pawn.
It's useless.
It's
It-
killing
it's actually
bishop.
good at controlling white's bishop.
Yeah, exactly. It's helping black this pawn because it's controlling the bishop here.
Yeah.
F5 is now played.
F4.
F4. Sorry.
All right. Well, okay.
Takes.
Okay.
Losing a pawn, but opening things up, and e5 is played.
Okay.
And maybe this was the idea behind rook b5 to protect e5, but it
Yeah, but
looks
knight
strange.
c5. Knight c5.
Knight c5 cuts it off, and so does this. I mean, this will just take it, right?
Black has just complete domination of dark squares. I think black will be a pawn up at the end as well.
Yeah.
And white's pawn structure is just too horrible to actually be like.
Yeah,
decent.
and I mean, after you give up the bishop pair like this, you just have to be really cautious of entering a good knight bad bishop ending. And it looks like that could
Well,
happen.
being up a pawn is also helpful.
Being up a pawn is also very helpful. I mean, white should get this, but black will get this at about the same time. And
Yeah, king f8 maneuver is paying off.
yeah, king of fate's working.
Sorry, that was the opening choice though.
That was an
Because
opening.
king
Yeah,
c7.
yeah, right.
Yeah, well, I think the opening has worked out for black.
Yeah, this was this opening, the one with 96 check, and then takes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
stepping
pawn
up.
structure disadvantage. I think
Pawn
white,
structure
white
disadvantage.
hasn't played it very well. I think
Yeah, this playing with the two bishops
you might.
in a symmetrical pawn structure is really easy, and I recommend trying it out. But with some imbalances like this, the knights can get like the more pawn weaknesses are on the board, the better the knights usually go.
Yeah, what black can do, since the white bishop is bad, is put all the pawns in dark squares and then also kill the other bishop at the same time.
Yeah,
There's actually a line in English which I play occasionally where it's c4, e5, knight c3, bishop e4, and then you chop on c3 and put all your pawns in dark squares.
yeah, I've seen this. Yeah, I like to play knight d5 here, as you probably know, but the usual move is g3 takes, and this is very similar to some Sicilian lines
Yeah,
where you do the same thing. You just put
D6
every
F-
pawn on.
Sometimes I've even played d6, f6, and knight e7. It's funny.
Yeah, exactly, and I mean that's sort of
Yeah.
what you do.
It's good, solid way to play for black. I like what Cameron did with his.
Yeah, Cameron's opening. It is weird to give up the two bishops like this, but practically,
No,
it's a.
I am a
it's a
bishop
feature.
denier. So
I know you're a bishop pair denier. I'm not a bishop pair denier.
I like knights. Okay,
But yeah, I think this is quite
all
well
right. Should we look
converted.
at Sterling's game?
Let's look at Sterling against Leon Lee. This is board one of the UNSW UQ match.
Okay, even pawns. Okay, white is just better. So
Yeah,
what
it
did
seems like
Sterling
white
go
is
for when we last looked at the game?
So we saw the opening was this English.
I think white just had bishop pair
I
again.
think- Where were we up to? Yeah, we were up to here, I think.
Okay, rook c2.
Yeah,
was
we,
nice.
we were looking
I
at
like
this
rook c2.
idea.
Yeah.
And instead, rook c1 was played.
Rook c1.
And then rook c2 was played.
Okay, rook c2. I thought white would just take on f6, but maybe Sterling thought that pawn takes.
Sterling, queen e7. Queen
Yeah,
e1
that's
is
why I
too
thought he
risky,
played rook c1.
which makes sense. So here, knight e7 is played, and then rook d2,
Okay.
6.
Well, the bishop is doing a good job at being a pawn.
And this is something we've seen quite a bit tonight. There are a lot of
Black's pawn. Well,
yeah, when you have a light square, you want your pawns on dark squares to control the squares that you can't control properly.
yeah, so I think white will be pressure on the dark squares.
Yeah. So Sterling decides to give up his bishop pair.
Okay, so F. Valens is graduated from the
I did.
Congrats on your graduation?
Yeah,
If that was recent.
if it was recent.
Yeah.
No. If it was recent, congrats. Anyway, Sterling, which is what you do after you give up your bishop on g2. Or your pawn's I suppose. I don't know why he actually gave up this bishop. Maybe he doesn't have much of a choice.
Where?
Probably wanted to go back.
Oh, the knight goes there anyway. Improving your king position.
Yeah, fair enough.
King is an active piece.
I want to improve my king then.
Oh, confused. Oh, why is the pawn up here?
Yeah, white's a pawn up. That's why he goes for this. He trades off his bishop for this pawn. A bit of an early conversion, but it works.
No, I think it's okay. Because
E5 is
when you have the bishop, sometimes you want to trade it for a static advantage, something that you'll always have. Like the bishop pairs a static advantage.
Yeah.
You could trade it for like some double pawns, maybe an extra pawn.
yeah, double pawns.
So like what Sterling did was actually quite good, I think.
Yeah, I will say here, E4 is a little bit of a mistake because it is a pawn. which
Yeah,
he probably
yeah,
missed.
It's just an oversight.
Yeah, it's definitely an oversight there. He got overly confident.
Yeah, well-
E4 is the type of move that you want to play here, but
Yeah,
it
'cause
concretely doesn't work.
When
as
your
a
opponent has a
mistake.
strong piece, you want to get rid of it usually.
Yeah, no,
I
he
think
can't
he-
take back because of this.
Yeah, queen takes rook.
So he has to go queen, rook e2, and now he's kind of back to where he started. Now it's like
Ooh,
a
white
pretty
has
equal
a
position.
bit of an advantage there.
White's a
because,
little bit better.
I think white's piece coordination will get much
I
better.
mean, look at this.
the knight will get to a good square.
Yeah,
Black's,
I think a big advantage here also is maybe the king safety.
yeah.
Could be an issue on this
Black,
diagonal.
Black does have a nice outpost in d5.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be a much harder position to play than it would have been without the e4.
Yeah, I think Sterling has missed the trick though.
Sterling missed a trick, definitely.
His position is quite harder to win. Harder to win.
Yeah, so this is the current position, and it looks like both sides are doing fine. It looks like this is still a game that can be.
This is a Sterling position.
This is a Sterling position.
Sterling likes these sorts of positions where
That said,
he can
I have heard
position
a
the
rumor.
outplay.
I have heard a rumor that Sterling's going for 5 draws. So we'll see.
I mean, I'm not sure why he would do that, but
I mean, I think
all right.
our board 2 and 3 are pretty strong,
That's
so
pretty
it makes
solid
sense.
position. Okay, let's go to board
Um,
3.
Board 3 is the 1d3 game for those who missed the opening.
Yeah,
It started with
okay.
1d3.
Well,
And we're a bit further in now. We were asking when we got back, when we saw this game last, why is the queen on e7 and where is the knight going? And
yeah.
let's see if Black has answered these questions.
Oh,
Oh, they moved to the queen.
okay. Well, Black never moved their knight. The knight's still on G8 and 5.
I like this pawn grab.
Knight is still on G8.
The knight's still on g8. Yeah.
Well, I think Black kind of said to himself, "Hey, my position kind of sucks if I don't have something to play for."
Yes, I just took a pawn, I
So
guess.
the pawn grab is justified, I think, but it doesn't solve any of his problems.
Okay, now he plays rook h7, which kind of solves a problem because now his knight can get to e7.
Okay.
But where are you going from e7? Because you've just played g6. So you can't go here.
Ugh.
So
All right,
Okay.
so I guess it's a question whether whites can use their bishops.
yeah, that's really the big question. This is a position Sen
It's a
can
knight.
just sit on.
It's a knight position, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, you wish you had a knight.
It's like a bad French.
You could say that. I mean, the bishop. Yeah, I mean, every piece in Black's position is not very useful.
Well, Black is up a pawn.
Fair enough.
Your favorite.
This is my favorite type of position where your position is terrible, but you're up a pawn. So you just like sit around and you try to convert somehow.
Hmm.
Oh, a few more played. Queen f2. Queen
C4.
f7 was played. Sorry, was played, and then c4.
C4. Okay.
What does c4 do? Does it put more pawns on?
Well, how do you defend your pawn in C5? Are you going to take? I don't think so.
Yeah, I guess you can't.
I think
It's
Black.
probably your only move.
What Black is doing is fine because if you take and then you try to swap the light's got bishops,
Yeah, so
the dark's got bishops contained.
you never want to take this.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
it trades off a bad piece. for
White
Black.
has a bit of a job to do here actually to prove their advantage because they're down a pawn, so their dynamic play has to be on point.
Yeah, exactly.
Black
So
is just actually a bit comfortable. Like,
it's a little hard to break through. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think what I would probably look for. I mean, I'm a pretty simple boring player.
Okay.
I would just look for playing knight f4 here back.
All right. Well, what
And then you can go something like h4, h5.
What the computer said against that? D5.
Ooh, that's an interesting idea. So takes. This is a Sam idea as well. Sam would like this.
This is big material.
Sam is read beyond material. So after d5, you have a few interesting ideas. Firstly,
Your bishop is opened.
your bishop is opened up.
Oh,
Your
the
rook is
dark's
also
good bishop.
opened up.
That's good bishop.
Your dark's good bishop. Everything's opened up.
This is like a perfect move to play in this position.
Yeah, wow. D5
I think we
is
just missed
quite
it.
impressive. Yeah, I missed it. I didn't see
Yeah,
it.
so we put the knight on d4 now as well. The rook's
The
open
knight
up.
sits on d4,
So,
rook goes to d1.
White
This
solves
takes.
all their problems with one move.
Wow. Okay,
So-
yeah, it's like we said, we don't want to
It
trade
seems
these.
like white can do this at any point.
He doesn't. He plays c1. Okay. Stream break. I think this is a good time to take a stream break.
5 minutes?
5. All right. See you guys.
Okay. Have your thoughts on bishop c1?
Yeah, back in about 10 minutes. Okay. See you guys.